Hi everyone, welcome to our Easter week videos. Today I've got James with me and we are going to be thinking about when we screw up. So basically there's a guy called Peter in the Bible. He's one of Jesus' best mates and he's done life with Jesus. He loves him. He said, yes, I'll do anything for you. I'll even die for you. But as Jesus has been arrested, Peter follows him and people say, you know Jesus. And he's like, no, I don't. And he denies knowing Jesus 3 times. So, yeah, he screwed up. So, James, what if you were Peter in this situation or in life when you screw up? How do you respond to that? What does it look like for you?
I think I probably respond like Peter responded. I just instantly feel bad about it. Kind of like Peter, kind of straight away, don't you, when you've screwed up. Like as soon as he denied Jesus for the 3rd time, he just knows like, oh, I've screwed up. Like this is what he said was going to happen, and I've done it. And so for me, like I would feel terrible. You feel like you've let someone down. You feel like you've let yourself down, and you've done something to damage a really important relationship a lot of the time. And I think that's what Peter was probably feeling, wasn't it? Like he's let down this man who was one of his closest friends, who he promised he would follow to the ends of the earth, and then all of a sudden, just through a few simple words, he's made this massive mistake. So I think I would feel terrible, bad, and just like I let my mate down.
So we're all human, we all screw up. What do we do? Like when we do that, how do we deal with it? How do we respond that's not a kind of really negative spiral of feeling bad about yourself, feeling guilty?
I think you just have to own it, don't you? Like you have to, like I said, Peter knew that he'd done it, and you just have to accept that you've made a mistake, and you have to look at how you can restore that relationship, how you can move forward in that situation. So rather than kind of spiraling, getting into kind of into self-pity and stuff, you just have to put your hands up and say, yeah, I've made a mistake. Like, if you can, you go to the person that you've wronged, you say sorry, you try to figure out a way that you can fix that relationship and move forward.
Yeah, so thinking about this story, if you were Jesus, and if someone has done something to upset you, has wronged you, what do you do with that? How is that similar or different to how Jesus responds?
Well, I suppose Jesus responds in a very different way to the way that I would respond as a human, and probably to the way that most of us would respond, because Jesus doesn't try and make Peter feel bad. He doesn't kind of wait for Peter to come and apologize. Jesus looks at Peter, he sees a man, he sees someone who's made a mistake, and he wants to restore that relationship, he wants to restore that friendship. And so he kind of initiates, doesn't he, just moving forward with that, and putting that kind of relationship above his own personal feelings of kind of feeling anger and stuff. And him and Peter, I love the end of that story, but they end up just kind of sharing a meal together, and they're able to to restore that friendship.
Yeah, that's a really hard thing to do and live out, isn't it? And I'm just really encouraged when I read this story that Peter, a guy who goes on to do some pretty amazing stuff, he is human and he screws up, but also how Jesus responds, that total forgiveness and restoring of that relationship is not just a nice little story in the Bible, but for us today, I screw up loads. I'm guessing you probably do as well. I hope so.
Quite regularly.
Good. But Jesus, it's the same with us, isn't it? It's that relationship of forgiveness and let's go again.
Yeah, and Jesus, like I say, he puts that, they have that relationship, they have that friendship restored, and I find, the people that make mistakes, that can own them, that kind of have, that's what makes you a person, that makes you kind of, to me, that displays kind of integrity, when you can kind of make mistakes and you can hold your hands up. That's the kind of person that I want to be, and I want to know. That's the kind of person I want to spend time with. It's people that can make mistakes but can admit to them and can move forward.
Move on.
Without dwelling on them.
Cool. Thank you, James. It's really good to have a think around this. If you're watching and you've got any thoughts, any questions, comments you'd like to make, do get in touch with us and interact in all of this with us. But we will see you tomorrow for another one of these conversations.